Heard about a Confederate soldier. I think it was Barnhouse, a great theologian. He wrote about this Confederate soldier who, he was in a Union prisoner of war camp, but he was so wounded in battle that he could never return to active duty, so they released him. But he also had a brother who was a Confederate soldier who was in a Union POW camp. And when he was released, he went to Washington to see President Lincoln so that he could intercede on behalf of his brother. He wanted his brother to be released because his brother was now the only means of taking care of his mother. He could no longer, because of his injuries, his war injuries, take care of his mom. And so sort of a Saving Private Ryan type thing, right? And so he goes to the White House and he goes up to the guards and they denied him access. You cannot come in. You're not a friend of the president. You're not a family of the president. You don't have an appointment. You're denied. So the young soldier, he goes out and he's hopeless at this point. He goes and sits on a bench outside the White House and begins to weep. He's crying because his brother's a POW. His mom don't know how he's going to take care of his mom. He's hopeless. President Lincoln had a young son named Tad. Tad was walking by, looks over, sees this soldier that's weeping. He's obviously been through war. Tad can see that, so he goes over and says, "Sir, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" And he says, "I'm crying because, man, I was a POW in a Union camp. They released me because I can't go to war, but I can't take care of my mama. But my brother can, but he's in a Union camp, a prisoner of war camp. And I want to speak to the president. I was going to go speak to the president and see if he could have my brother released so that he could take care of my mama. But the guards denied me access. They said, you can't come in. You don't have an appointment. You're not friends. You're not family." And Tad grabbed the soldier by the hand and said, "Come with me, sir." And he took him, and this time as they approached the guard station at the White House, the guards didn't stop him and deny access. The guards stood up and saluted because his son was with him. And he marched him right by the guards, right into the White House, right into the Oval Office, and said, "Dad, let me introduce you to my new friend." Told him the story, and at that moment, he began to share his entire story with the president. Listen, that's exactly what Jesus Christ has done for you if you're a believer. You see, you were wounded, you were hopeless, and sad thing is we didn't even know we were hopeless sometimes. You were wounded, you're hopeless, and you had no access to the Father. None whatsoever. But Jesus found you. He found you, and he took you by the hand, and he ushered you in to the presence of the Father. And unlike this man who had a one opportunity to meet the president, and unlike if we were somehow called today and said, "Hey, the president wants to have dinner with you," it wouldn't matter if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat or if you're independent. It doesn't matter if the president's Republican, Democrat, or independent. That's a high honor. That's the office of the President of the United States. Man, you're going to be honored. You're going to go to dinner. You're going to talk. But when you leave, that's it. I mean, you're not going to be friends. You're not going to text, "Hey, bro, what's up? You know, LOL. Saw you on TV last night. Dude, look at your hair." I mean, you're not going to do that with the president, right? It's a one-time thing, but think about this. When the Son ushers you into the presence of the Father, it is a moment-by-moment, unlimited access that you can go to God and talk to him about anything. The King of Kings, talk to him about anything, and we take that so for granted that we don't even use that privilege near like what we should. So Paul says, look, I want you to understand the benefits that you have. Because you're justified, you have peace with God. And because you have peace with God, you have this incredible, unlimited access with God.